Welcome back, everybody, to Facetious. This is episode 77, recorded on Monday, June 19th, 2017, at approximately 6:02 Central Standard Time. Look,
Juneteenth, brother.
Juneteenth, man. You know, we're going to have to educate our guest on what Juneteenth means. We might not have to, though. He seems pretty cool, but I am one of your hosts. I am Larry, a.k.a. Bluemanrule, and I'm going to have to bring my volume down because the wife done got onto me one time already. So I am joined, as usual, by my
and you
main
gonna go out like a punk. She say something to you one time, and you like, oh,
absolutely.
You representing Juneteenth right now.
Right, absolutely.
You representing Juneteenth.
Absolutely.
Massa said, be quiet.
But hey, Juneteenth is reminiscent of good times. I'm still trying to have good times. Therefore,
Massa said, be quiet.
Massa said, be quiet. So I gotta be quiet. Y'all. But I am joined as usual by my main Damien, the Cookie Chef Supreme. He is apparently still waiting for greatness. It is none other than Mike, aka Scarfinger, aka Real Talk. What's up, dog?
What's up, next?
And for the first time in about, I guess, 25 episodes, I can't remember if it was Indifference who was last on or Devious Mr. Matt who was last on as our guest, or maybe it was me. However, we have a guest today, and he is.
Were they after AZ Rockslide?
Yes, they were.
Okay, I think Aaron was the last one. Right?
I think Aaron was the last one. Yes, but we are joined by my longtime friend. I think I've known him for like going on 3 years now, maybe.
Yeah, about that, yeah.
Yes, it's about 3 years, and he hangs out over there at A Starting Point, and came from CoinOp TV. It is none other, and he is apparently an E3 returnee. It is none other than Brian, aka Quiglin. What's going on, man?
Hey, man, how's it going? Thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it.
Oh man, mad excited, dog. Look, I am happy to have you on, and I just want to say, look, we're going to get into some feedback here in just a second, but we're going to talk about E3 later on, and it's going to be good. Okay, Scar, you tweeted me, and you
I'm gonna take off the cappy hat until then.
No, okay. do your hat thing. I got a hat, but no one wants me to wear my hat.
This is actually like the first hat that I have that's actually like fits pretty well. I mean,
I like it, man. It has the big eyes on it. Like what is Nintendo looking at? And I can tell you when we get to E3, I can tell you what they're probably looking at because it's a whole lot of salt being thrown. And I mean, it's just being tossed around, man. So
I'm just gonna say this up front because y'all already know how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
F everything Nintendo was about. See, I said F this time. F everything Nintendo was about. I despise Nintendo. I despise they are nostalgia traffickers.
They are
traffic in only nostalgia. Like they don't make a compelling product. So they just keep selling y'all nostalgia, and even to the point to where they keep selling y'all the same games over and over again, and y'all idiots keep buying it.
I do keep buying it. That is the truth.
And see the honesty. You see the honesty. Like that's all we asking about industry. Like, look, if you're gonna lean one way, that's fine. Just acknowledge that you tilting one way, so people know whether to walk around you. That's all.
I own all three consoles. It's not like I have one favorite over the other.
Right.
I've not bought a Nintendo console since the Super Nintendo.
Well, boy, Scar, you're just going to love when we get to Super Mario Odyssey because it's basically Nintendo. It's basically Mario 64 on Switch.
Well, I never played Mario 64. Now there has been Nintendo consoles in my home, like there was a Wii in my home that I barely used. I mean, I play some Wii Sports, play a lot of Boom Blocks, but that's pretty much it.
Boom Blocks is awesome. That's legit.
Yes, but you don't realize that, like, you really got to put something on Boom Blocks in order to make that stuff work. Like, you really got I mean, like, you play a lot of Boom Blocks, and like you know, you got to go rest like pitchers. Like,
you gotta go rest.
Yeah, it's Boom Blocks is real deal, dog. Like you gotta make sure that you put your wrist strap on, because when you start throwing stuff, especially when you get to the later levels, when instead of a baseball you're throwing like a bowling ball.
Okay.
You really got to put something on it for that to work.
I hear you. All right, so before we get into all of that, because I guarantee you we're gonna be in here with games. But listen,
what's up?
I had a little bit of we got some people up in the chat already. That's what's good. So look, we had a little bit of feedback. I was talking as usual to my dude Darrin at work, and he he was mentioning on the Black soundtracks. He was like, man, you guys mentioned a lot of stuff. And he said, and I don't know if I brought this up last week, but he mentioned Superfly. Like he said, hey man, Superfly was his jam. He still got some.
When we had the original conversation in the game chat for the game night, I said we talked about a whole bunch of soundtracks, but we did not mention the Mac and Superfly.
Yeah, you did, man. I told him you mentioned that as well.
Yeah. But we mentioned that when we had it that night, but we did not mention it on the show. Those are they're classics. They're classics, but for the purposes of this discussion, there's only two. It's only two.
Okay. I mean, I feel you. Like I said, I'm not mad at it at all. But he was, he just wanted to say, he's like, man, I still have that. So I think he still got that vinyl. As a matter of fact, he said, I still got that vinyl, I think. So yeah, man.
Okay, so he just instantly sounded old.
Oh, he is an older individual. He is an older individual. So yeah, he just got a little bit of experience on it. But it was funny because he mentioned that, and then he mentioned someone else mentioned a couple other movies, but it's all good. I just wanted to put that feedback in there. And then he also brought up this, guys. So I wanted to get you guys' opinion on it because you guys are pretty smart. So I was watching the Digital Foundry video when they broke down the Xbox One Scorpio, and they were talking about, Xbox One X, and they were talking about.
Just call it Xbox.
Xbox, because that's what it is. Xbox One X, XBOX, Xbox. So what he was breaking down on Digital Foundry was the fact that the leap from the start of this generation to the Xbox is not that great, which it really shouldn't be because it's really a mid step, right? We haven't had a leap since we haven't had a true leap since the leap to HD with the 360 and the PS3. Right.
There hasn't been a true leap since that. So we're not falling for that nonsense.
Right, but he brought up a good point in that the tech.
A good point.
No, listen. That's not the point he's making. The point he's making, and I also agree when I look at the new CPUs that are out, when I look at the GPUs that are out, the jump in, because every 18 months technology is supposed to double or whatever, but that has been slowing down. And he brought up the point, Darrin actually brought up the point that was echoed in Digital Foundry, and I know he doesn't watch Digital Foundry, but he's thinking like games can't get much better than they are now. And I brought it up and made me think of diminishing returns. It's the law of diminishing returns, right? So do you guys think that in the next 8 years we will jump as far as we did in the previous 8 years? Like, do you think that'll be the case?
Possibly, because it all depends on when these people try to sell you idiots 8K, and what the difference in 8K is as gaming is concerned. So I would say it's possible, depending on what 8K really turns out to be. But for right now, everybody's focused on 4K, so they still have that in their pocket to sell you some more shit later.
Okay. What about you, Brian? What you think?
Yeah, I think where it's going to become troublesome is when we start getting to that uncanny valley. That point where things become so realistic that we start to, we're okay with shooting people on a screen, possibly, partly because they don't exist. They're just pixels and they look like pixels. When those people start to look like actual human beings, it's possible that we may, especially in VR, it is possible that we may start to, have a difference, where we I don't know how I feel about this. Right. The other thing is
that's why in games like Call of Duty and stuff like that, a lot of the people that you're shooting at don't look like you. Like, you are normally like a dude without a helmet and all that other stuff, or may have just a small helmet so you can still see who you are, but they are normally fully decked out and covered so that you can so that
they look less human.
Yeah.
They look less like your next buddy. The other thing is I wonder if it's not if the machines are going so fast, the individual developers can't really write as, one of the great things about the end of the 7th generation was the 360 and PS3 had been around so long that developers were literally writing to the metal. They were like every inch of space that they could write to, they were doing it.
Right.
And I'm not sure
the magic tricks. There's the absolute magic tricks that it took to pull off Gears 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They put that. Hey, even Mass Effect 3 to that regard. But go ahead, B.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if they keep pushing these half iterations. I mean, are we ever going to get to the point where the developers are going to be writing so well to the top console, and partially, excuse me, because they have to have that backwards compatibility. So we're going to start having this lowest common denominator thing where they're going to have to write to a regular Xbox One instead of being able to go to Xbox X.
Well, see, I've heard that argument, but the reason I disagree with that is because it's the current PC infrastructure now, right? You have different specs, and I think that you can turn on all the effects. I think you can up all the frames. I think you can blast all the resolution and pull all the HDR in on something that's more capable. So I think. And while I agree with you that it may end up going that direction, I think that it's and we've had this conversation on Gamers Unscripted with a couple of developers, and they said no, it's not a problem to them because it's just like they in the PC world, so they're very familiar with this environment already.
Yeah, I think it's the video game makers adopting the cell phone model. I mean, that's pretty much what they're doing right now. They're adopting the cell phone model where, like, you got an iPhone. If you get the iPhone 7, you know, your kids who got that 5, there may be some stuff that they can't pull off. And
right.
It's just, you know, they can still do stuff, but they may get left behind as the stuff gets more and more developed. And I think that's what's going to happen. Whatever happens after the X. Whatever happens after the X is probably gonna cut off the regular Xbox and maybe even the S.
Well, see,
but I think you can still make sure that the thing will run. It ain't gonna run well, but it's gonna move. Make sure that it'll load.
Right.
Good luck with that. Like your frames may, you know. I mean, you play the new Call of Duty on the regular Xbox, it may look like a flip book, but it works. And I think that's where it's going. It's these companies adopting the cell phone model, and you know, for someone who used to upgrade my iPod Touch every year. Like, I know what that's like. Like, I know that once I got this new one, there's stuff on the one a couple of years back that just won't gonna go good. And as long as they express that clearly,
yeah,
I'm cool. And if my lower third is gone,
yeah, it's all right. I'll try to toggle it back. But Ace said,
yours is gone too.
Ace said Halo 4 kind of squeezed the juice out of the 360.
Yes,
and I concur.
That is accurate.
I concur. So, yeah, it's just interesting.
Halo Reach almost squeezed the juice out of the one that they ran like crap sticks.
Boy, hot garbage on the stick.
Halo Reach is still the best one.
Halo Reach, yes, is the pinnacle.
Yeah.
Yes.
I hate the fact that they went backwards though. That they went backwards and added the health back. I hated that. I liked just having to worry about my shields and that's it. But you knew that's where they were going when ODST was made, when they added all of that stuff back in ODST, and you're like, they about to hit me with the okie doke, ain't they? And that's what they did. But Halo Reach is the pinnacle of Halo. 4 and 5, not good enough. Sorry.
Okay.
The only thing I didn't like about Reach was that they were like, okay, you're gonna care about this guy. You're going to care about him and he's going to die. Just so you know, we're going to make you care about him. And you're like, okay, whatever. And then he dies and you're like, all right, well, you told me I was supposed to care about him. Oh, well.
Right.
Well, but then again, the last time we had heard that, we kind of did care in Fable 2 when your dog died. Spoiler alert. I cared about that dog. Like, I really at the end, I was like, do I want this money? Or do I want my dog back? Like, I want my dog back. That was my dog. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's my quarter bike. That's my quarter bike.
Yeah, that was my dog, man, for real.
All right. So All right, so switching gears a little bit before we get into E3, I had a quick little story I wanted to tell you guys, and I wanted to get your takes on maybe some things that had happened to you. So I was riding my bike on Saturday morning, and it was a bad choice because the wind was blowing 21 miles an hour. Number one. Number two, what I didn't know had happened was that my handlebars had come loose, kind of gotten stripped a little bit. Right, so I'm riding. So anytime I hit like a little bump or whatever, it would like turn off. So my handlebars would be like turned, but my tire would still be pointing straight. And so I had to like jerk it back to get it going again. So, and that's mad dangerous, y'all, because like especially on the way back, because I had the wind behind me, and some of it was like up some hills and down some hills, so you're catching a lot of speed, right? And I ride by a lake, you know what I'm saying? So, like for you guys, have you ever done something that like you feel like is really dangerous, or have you seen someone do something mad dangerous, and you just like, look here, son, that's probably not a good choice, because that's what was happening to me, and I was riding by people jerking my handlebars, and they were just looking at me like, all right, does he have the bike?
I tried to drive home once after my belt had broke, and I had to put some man on turning the damn car.
Like, and biceps was a lot, wasn't it?
Yeah. I'm like to turn left. I put the undergrip in the over. Like I felt like pulling that rope.
Man.
Dude, that's like I mean, do you guys remember cars before they had power steering?
Mm-hmm.
No.
That's exactly what it was. I mean, like you were just like
I've never driven one.
Oh man, it was.
Yeah.
Wow. God, now I really just dated myself.
No, listen. My 1983 Ford LTD, that was my first car. That bad boy, and this was back in the day where they didn't have a electric assisted power steering, right? So it had power steering fluid, but I didn't know there was a hole. There was a leak in my power steering canister. So I drove home from the gym after doing pyramids on some curls. We did pyramids up to 15 and back down, and then my car wanted to not turn. So you talking about flexing and having nothing there, having nothing there. Yeah, that was that was rough. Ace said he wouldn't say dangerous, but he ran out of gas in front of the gas station in 5 o'clock traffic. Like doing anything in 5 o'clock traffic is terrible. Like, let's just be clear. But yeah. Yeah, Slasher said I joined Ace's team once, and that's dangerous.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it is, man. It's terrible. But and that's the one thing. And then there's another thing. Now, it's not dangerous, right? But it is kind of dangerous to your senses, right? So just before I came on here, like I shaved, right? Because I needed to shave. And I shaved and I washed my face. Too. Yeah, look at what you do. You got out like some scissors and just like clipped a little bit around the side, man.
I did brush my beard before I came on tonight. Just
you did? You did?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You need to put some wave cream on that.
Yeah, he ran out of beard oil.
Right.
I did something real dangerous. I went outside. I ain't had no beard oil. Oh, darn it.
But just because I live in Central Kentucky does not mean I'm a redneck.
Right.
I didn't say that. I'm not gonna point this out to the podcast listeners. He has on the lower third. It's red and it's right across his neckline. I'm just saying. I'm not saying you're redneck, but I understand.
Right. You understand. But listen, y'all. So here's like I said, it's not dangerous, but it is dangerous to the senses. So I shaved, I washed my face, and have you ever gone to grab a hand towel and then go to dry your face and then smelled it and realized it didn't dry all the way from the last time you used it, and it smells like you wiping somebody's wet butt on your face? Like that's what my towel smells like. Have you guys ever had that happen to where the towel doesn't dry all the way out and it smells like hot cheese?
Yeah, I did that with an active sex towel before. Yep, happened.
Oh.
It happened. Oh. I did it. I went and cleaned up, and then I was like, you know what? I think I can can go for another round. So I went for another round, and I kind of do my thing. So I had to wipe my mouth off, and it didn't quite go. It didn't quite go as well. Like these things happen. Like,
ooh, man, do they though? Do they really? Like that seems pretty unique, bro. Like that seems like a real unique company right there.
I mean, I have had it where I've done my thing, and then I go up to kiss my wife, and she goes,
Oh, you gotta stop.
You wash all that beard up before you come kiss me.
All that beard. Like, do you tie that back? Like,
I don't want that.
Tie it back with something like.
No, I just go in there, man.
Get some Captain Lou Albano rubber bands and just tie it off real quick, or braid that bitch or something.
Right. Like, looking like Bone, walk around looking like Bone Thug.
But my man coming to the bedroom looking like a pharaoh.
Right. Give him one of those when he comes. It have a towel wrapped around him like a pharaoh skirt. Right. And one of those little onk on the stick.
Yeah. Like one of those big gold things on my head. Yeah, it'd be great.
Right. Yeah. Well, seriously, man. So, I
was serious this whole time.
I know it. You stay serious. Hey, happy belated Father's Day to all the fathers like on this show, everybody watching and listening and everything.
And shout out to all the fathers, man.
Yeah, man. Did y'all do anything good? Because if not, we can jump into E3 and just rock this.
No,
thing.
Man, I just hung out with my kid. My kid was brought here on Saturday.
That's what's up.
So, and she's here for the summer. So it's it's one of those things. I just right before the show started, I had her bring me my headphones. Because that's what you do. That's why you have kids, so they can bring you stuff that you don't feel like getting up and getting yourself.
That's why I grew up with my grandparents. I swear I was the channel changer, even though she had a remote. My grandma, Jaira, I'm talking about way down the street. She called me from way down the street to come in there and change the dang channel.
You ready to
What's up, Mama? What you need?
What's going on?
Wheel of Fortune's on.
Put the Wheel of Fortune's on. Mama, you got the remote right there. Boy, shut up talking back to me and change the channel. Yes, ma'am.
You got the old cable box, so you got to click.
Oh yeah, I had the clicks. Oh, where you had the little tuner, the UHF and the VHS. Oh man, what y'all know about that, man? Ours was 10, and I think that was the only channel I could ever get like Disney on. Like that was it. Ooh. And it would only come in every now and then. Like you had to catch it at the right wavelength, the weather outside, and
you had to watch that joke like you watched the porn channel, just looking through the lines.
I think that's why I wear glasses today, because I'm sitting there trying to watch Disney and I'm like this far from the TV. Like it's just ridiculous, man. So
DuckTales though. DuckTales.
Boy, that DuckTales went hard. Look, DuckTales and Darkwing. Darkwing is y'all don't even want to see. Darkwing Duck is on my phone right now. Like
I was always more of a Tailspin guy.
Yeah, I like Tailspin.
I like Tailspin.
Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers, little Rescue Rangers.
Yeah, I messed with Rescue Rangers back in the day.
Man, I'm telling you. So I don't know if you can see my phone, but that's Darkwing. You see the beard, the orange beard, the orange bill? Like that's his bill. Sorry. But yeah, anyway, that's my dude. So that's where I'm at, man. But yeah, Simpson said DuckTales. DuckTales used to be it, man. DuckTales used to be it, man.
What was your original question? 13 minutes ago, you asked a question, Larry. What was it?
Oh no, we already covered all of that. Covered all that. How was Father's Day? Day?
Right. That was great. My wife actually got my baby got Daria a happy first Father's Day like onesie. So when I woke up and came out, she was so adorable. It was so great.
So it's the first Father's Day.
First Father's Day.
First Father's Day is great.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Wait for the rest.
He said not to rest up.
Wait for the rest.
He said wait for the rest.
Because Mother's Day is all about the mother.
Right.
Father's Day is always about the family.
Even funnier, what I heard at church was they were like, on Mother's Day, yeah, we honor all the mothers. We say, yeah, thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for being a great mom. And on Father's Day, it's all the messages are, gotta be a better dad. You gotta be a better man and leave a better legacy. And it's like, hold on, can we get a little bit of parody on the messaging?
I will say this year Last year, the day before the day before Father's Day, I went off and I said, look, if you got problem with your baby daddy or something like that, get that shit out the way today. Tomorrow is about us to actually do what we're supposed to do.
Right.
And then it was also the thing last year about single mothers claiming they're the father too. And we just kept saying like, bruh, single fathers, we don't claim Mother's Day.
Right.
We don't claim Mother's Day. Like, can we have our day, please? And for the most part, this year, I did not see any of that. Most of the people in my Facebook, thing, because that's usually where I'm looking for such things. They let us, for the first time in a long time, they let us have our day, and I thank everyone greatly for leaving their stuff alone and letting us have our day. Even though like it's. Let me tell you what my daughter did last year. Last year, she got me a PlayStation card.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Now we all know that I barely use my PlayStation.
Right.
So I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna put a little bit more on it, and I'm about President Architect on PlayStation. Just just because I got a PlayStation card. Mm-hmm. So this year, I'm like, cool. Hopefully, somebody thought to get me an Xbox card this time. Nope, PlayStation card.
What?
But my PlayStation Plus ran out.
There you go. There you go.
There it is. All right.
I'm trying to get on that killing floor. And was it Life is Strange?
Life is Strange, yeah. And that was free.
I saw the whole before the storm thing, so we can talk about that when we get to E3.
Okay, yeah. Well, guess what? We're here.
No, can I? I was gonna say something before we did that. No, I was gonna say something before we did that, and I can't remember. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. I was flipping through Facebook one day, and the greatest thing ever came on, because sometimes on Facebook they be live streaming like movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Somebody was live streaming all of the Trapped in the Closet episodes, and I was there. I was there all again, bro. I love Trapped in the Closet. I don't know what it is, bro. I know it's silly and crazy, but I came in about midway. They were doing all 22 episodes, and I came in around midway. And I watched the whole thing the rest of the way through, and I was in there. I was entranced. Like I was Trapped in the Closet. I love Trapped in the Closet. I was singing along at the parts that I knew, because I know the first 5 very well, of course, because that was all we had for a good little bit.
Right.
But yeah, the parts that I knew, I was singing, and I was having just a ball. I love Trapped in the Closet. I know it's stupid, but it is great. It's great. The Trapped in the Closet is greater than anything Sony has ever produced.
Great segue. You know what? I appreciate that. B, look here, man. Mike and I have not been to E3, man. So, tell us what you thought of E3. But let me precurse that by saying, I'll say this. I thought Sony's conference was hot garbage.
Hot garbage. It was dumpster juice.
Right. I thought Ubisoft really surprised a lot of people and showed some good stuff. And I think Microsoft took a different path, and I think it was kind of successful, man. Like even though there's not really a whole lot of stuff that I'm looking to play, like I feel more comfortable with that company than I do with anyone else. That's just me. Well, outside of Ubisoft, right? But and then Nintendo, I'm not a Nintendo guy, but a lot of people will hype on the conference. So, hey, man, tell me what you got.
I got nothing when it comes to Nintendo, bro.
Well, so I honestly, I think Ubisoft did the best conference.
Right.
I mean, I feel like they showed off the best games, and overall, comparatively with, like the overall conference as a whole. I mean, minus the girl coming out and lip syncing. I mean, whatever. But
it's still better than the year that they premiered Lips, and the chick. I can't remember her name. Was it Duffy?
Yes.
And she was singing her own. She was singing her own song, but she was trying to put her little spin on it, and she was failing at the game.
Right.
Singing it straight like the song was supposed to be. She was trying to put the stank on it, but was failing at the game.
Hey, stank is not applicable in that game, just so you know.
Yeah. No, but I mean, so I actually didn't end up seeing the Sony conference at all because I was actually at an Ubisoft event, and I was able to sit down and get hands on with like Assassin's Creed and South Park and the Mario and Rabbids game. So yeah, those were really good. And then Transference started making me sick, so I only played about 5 minutes.
Was that VR?
Yeah, it's a VR game.
Okay.
Well, that was the game where there was like this whole video with like Elijah Wood and some other people talking about like being in. So the concept of the game, when you actually find out, the concept of the game is great. Like you're going into the memories of an Iraqi war veteran who, so his memories from 1993. So right when he gets back and 2002, after his life has kind of fallen apart.
Right.
And it's really creepy, and you can bounce back and forth between the two memories, the memory times, by turning off the lights. But like when I was starting to feel nauseous and I was getting a headache, and I was really done when, like, now mind you, I have already been away from my daughter for a couple of days, like first time ever, and all of a sudden, like right behind my ear, I get this, "Daddy, I need you," and I'm like, "Oh nope, I'm done." I'm like, I can't. Nope.
He's like, hang it up.
Nope. I'm like, and I'm really in it. Like, I got the Oculus hand things, and I'm I'm out. I'm like, someone take these from me. I'm done.
Right.
But yeah, so
Mama, take these things from me. I can't do this anymore. Wow.
But you know, Quiglin from like, he used to live in like Boston for a long time, right? Or like when you were in Massachusetts, right?
I was never in Massachusetts. I was in Ohio.
Ohio. That's what
they were in Massachusetts. Make sure you say the chew.
The chew. I don't like saying the chew because
it flows better than chew.
Right.
I mean, I was previously married to someone from Massachusetts. Right. So yeah. And the funny thing is, I think I might have pissed my girlfriend off a little bit one day because we went to Friendly's, and Friendly's is a place they sell food and they sell ice cream. A lot of people from up north, they love Friendly's. Like people from New England, they love Friendly's. And the guy was there, and he had on a Patriot shirt. And so I knew he was probably from up there. He was telling his girl, like, this is the best thing ever, blah, 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 whatever. And I was like, yeah, he's from up there. So he's talking to the lady, and he asked her, he's ordering his ice cream, and he asked her if she has Jimmy's. And she's looking at him like, Jimmy's? And he's like, Jimmy's, like, Jimmy's. Yeah, and Jimmy's. I'm like, he's asking for sprinkles. And he goes, yes, sprinkles. And I'm like, yeah, I was married to someone from yeah. And then I was like, yeah, my ex-wife's from Worcester. And he was like, you're right. It's because I said it right.
Right.
I said it right. He knew exactly that he knew I was down.
Right. He gave you one of them in a restaurant over the ice cream.
I was down. And he was a clean cut white dude, but at that moment we were eye to eye. Like,
right.
He knew.
Ice cream saw no color. Ice cream saw no color at that moment. No. All right. All right, B. So what else, man? So you like that? You like the Ubisoft conference? What else, man?
The Bethesda conference. I don't know why they had one.
Boy. Well, you know me. I'm not a fan of Bethesda.
But what I'm saying is there was nothing that said to me there was no reason to take the last two games, Evil Within 2 and Wolfenstein 2, and have them in either Sony or Microsoft's conference, because the rest of that was not necessary.
Right. Well, I mean, didn't Nintendo announce, or was that during the Nintendo conference, where they announced Elder Scrolls on the Switch?
Yeah. But which is another thing we knew was already going to come out.
And then Sony did. Was it Sony that did Skyrim VR?
Yes. Sony has a timed exclusive on Skyrim VR, because nothing says we should put this out like a game that's 7 years old.
Right. Knox sent us a dude milking a goat, and the dude had he had Bethesda on his back, and the goat said Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim, because that's all they doing. That's all they doing is milking this thing, man.
Jeez, seriously. Although I will say I'm interested to see what they do with the Doom VR, because because Doom is about fast-paced and shooting a lot of things. And this is like, you have to kind of like do that weird teleport thing. And I'm like, are they turning into more of a strategy shooter? Because that's not what Doom's about. Doom's not about, okay, I'm going to move over here and then I'm going to turn and wait for things. No. It's, oh my God, I'm going to die. If I ever stop, I'm dead. Like that is Doom in a nutshell.
Right.
So I don't understand how they're going to make that work. But, and I wasn't going to wait 3 hours in line to play it.
Right. And that's the thing. Like Doom was on sale for $10. And this is why I didn't watch the Bethesda conference, because they don't really make stuff I'm interested in. Doom is the only thing I think about buying, but it's been on sale for $10 for like 3 weeks now. And I'm like, I mean, I can take it or leave it.
I will say that Wolfenstein I find very interesting because I like these alternate universe ideas.
Yeah.
I love the concept. They had, now if you haven't seen the trailer, go back and watch where they kind of have these faux American 60s television shorts, but they're with a German twist on, with like a Nazi twist on them. And I think that those are very interesting. In fact, I would be more interested in watching more of that than necessarily I would be interested in playing Wolfenstein 2. Though I have heard the shooting mechanics are actually supposed to be pretty good. So Nintendo, I don't know why they do those things. I just don't. I mean, okay, and there's all these people who are just like just blowing their loads over a Metroid Prime 4. It's a freaking logo.
Right.
I mean, I could have drawn a goddamn 4 on a piece of paper and it would have been the same thing.
Why just a 4 though?
I don't have to say anything else. I just put up a 4 and they'd be like, oh my God, it's the best.
Well, if you talk to PC people, at least they can count to 4.
We can. Look.
No, I mean all of the 3s that the PC people are waiting for.
Oh, you bogus. You bogus. Wow. Half-Life 3 says hi. Look.
Yeah.
Half-Life 3 says.
But maybe.
No. So I mean, it's interesting the pass that Nintendo gets, right?
Yeah.
So
sure.
This is the one thing that kind of baffles me, as I don't understand why Nintendo does not stand. They don't get the same critique on the same level that other people do. Like, I understand that their goal is different. I understand that their strategy is different. I mean, however, you're still being assessed in the same marketplace with all your other competitors. So I don't understand why the critique is not levied the same. So
are you saying from a point of view of the critics, or are you saying a point of view from the market?
I'm saying from the consumer themselves.
So to me, they do exactly what they can do to make their consumers happy, and their consumers continue to buy it. So why would they ever change their strategy? If you're just printing money,
bless you, Mike.
If you're just printing money and putting it in giant bags or in a big vault for Scrooge McDuck to swim in, why would you ever change your strategy?
My thing is this: and I'm not coming from a point of, I guess, from a point of pride or anything, but I'm saying, like, why don't we have smarter consumers out there saying, look, man, what you're giving me is a regurgitation of what you've already given me, and I want something different. I want something new. I want something competitive on a technical evaluation point.
Sony.
I take a little umbrage. I don't think necessarily Sony's quite that bad.
Sony keeps selling. Sony is taking up the Nintendo model of selling you all of these remakes and crap. That they're trying to do the same thing. They just don't have the cachet with the consumer. Like they don't have that. They don't have that level of nostalgia that people have for Nintendo. So they're never going to quite get there, but they've done that so far this generation. There's a couple of good games, a ton of remasters, and a ton of the sequels that they think that their fans want.
And they keep buying them, so obviously that is what their fans
like I said,
want.
it's the Nintendo thing. As long as y'all idiots keep buying them, we ain't really gonna try to.
It's. You know what, though? In truth, I don't know if that's necessarily...
Who asked for Shadow of Colossus?
Oh, I'm sure there are a lot of people that have asked for Shadow of the Colossus.
There's people who would. Well, we would be able to play it if your back compat actually worth a damn, or that the price of the damn PlayStation Now wasn't so high. Yeah. Maybe I might be able to play it.
Yeah, I think the whole PlayStation Now pricing thing needs to be overhauled completely.
They would have put PlayStation Now into PlayStation Plus when they upped the price. No one would have a problem.
Yeah,
and they could feast off of that.
I wonder. So my thing with that is, I wonder if they're waiting till PlayStation Now is put into their TVs and see if that people will pay that much when they don't have any other options, but to pay for PlayStation Now. I haven't given a whole lot of thought on how the pricing works, but I agree that the pricing needs to be completely overhauled. But we were talking about Sony. No,
Sony. Yeah, the conference. Yeah, we were talking about Sony. You were taking umbrage with what Mike was saying. How Sony? Yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, but I will say that Sony. The one thing I was a little disappointed with Sony was they used to be like the people who brought the indie games, and then where were the indie games? Like they
already gave them all to us on PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, but
that's how they paid PlayStation Plus.
That is true. I mean, if you think about it, you do get all the cool games, cool indie games on.
I mean, we got Rocket League. We got Rocket League for free before y'all even came.
Oh no, when it released, Rocket League was free when it released.
Like, Rocket League is coming to Switch. Don't you care?
Yeah, because I got it on PC, I got it on Xbox One, and I could play with you. But apparently,
it's gonna be on Switch, right? Another 3-year-old game coming to a console. You know, it's gonna be the best.
It's tasty, isn't it? Look here, man. Look, I don't know who's out here thinking that serving us the same old warmed up chicken pot pie is good. Look, man, give your boy some chicken parmesan, some chicken cremora. Give me something new, right? Give your boy a steakums. Like, I need a steak. I like ribs. You know what I'm saying? I like brisket.
Yes, straight up steakums, dog.
It's just, man. Oh, man.
I think a part of that has to do with fear. You know, like a lot of times these publishers are afraid of taking a chance. I mean, when it comes down to it, it all comes down to they're afraid of losing, because it's getting to the point where some of these games are so big that if it's any kind of near failure, that company is going down. Like, I mean, it is going to just fold.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, and I mean, think about like the stupid thing that EA did to Montreal, to EA Montreal or BioWare Montreal, where they just shelved it because which
has me on fire.
Like, I don't understand why they're like, oh, well, it didn't sell nearly as many units as we want, so you're nothing now.
You idiots botched the launch. You did. They didn't. You did. You botched the launch. EA botched all of that stuff at the beginning by holding back the reviews until after the period of EA access, because if they wouldn't have held back the reviews, they could have watched a review that says, dog, just get past the EA access part. You'll be fine.
Right.
And that would have solved a whole lot of the problems. But they held back the reviews until after the EA access period was over. And then you had all of the people who were upset because they don't have EA access on their console. So they were just kind of stuck trying to figure out what the game was about. All of the memes started coming out because, of course, all games launch with bugs these days. So it was going to be some bugs. So because of all of that, it's just like they didn't have anybody to say, bruh, just calm down. It'll be all right. And the reviews would have said that. But that just festered over those days leading up to the launch. And then it just turned into what the internet actually is. Like, it was a snowball effect.
Right.
Like, they made that one mistake, and it just snowballed into this big thing, and everybody was like, "Nah, we good." I had JVB last week was on Twitter and was like, "Should I buy this? It's $20." And I was like, bro, $20 is a good.
Absolutely.
I was like, $20 is a good lunch. You might as well get in. Like I said, I enjoyed the game, but $20 is a good lunch. So, like,
especially for a game that came out only 3 months ago, $20 is awesome.
Yeah, but see, my problem is they left too many places for good DLC, and the fact that I'm not going to get any of that.
Right.
Sucks.
And the problem for me is I can understand why they pumped the brakes on it. They pumped the brakes on it, and you were talking about fear, but it's not necessarily fear. It's an acknowledgement that the atmosphere is not very receptive to Andromeda right now. It's simply not. And that's not fear. That's an intelligent strategic choice. But to shelve everything for right now, maybe they're still working on stuff in the background. But yeah, you're right, Mike. Like, they were going to do a ton of expansions for free, no more season passes, which one thing EA is actually shifting toward, which I'm a fan of.
But they want to do but see, here's the thing. As I understand it, they kept their multiplayer team so they could sell us content that way.
Well, those updates have been free since Mass Effect 3, but yeah, they do sell the characters and stuff. But you can win them as well.
They want to sell us the packs, and which I mean, okay, but like, I don't play the multiplayer that much. I only play the multiplayer when I'm playing with y'all, and that's at this point maybe once a month. And I want more Mass Effect. I don't want more multiplayer Mass Effect. I want more Mass Effect. I want you to fill in those holes that you left for me. There's 3 really large holes in this game right now that no one knows if it's actually going to be filled ever.
Right. Now AZ said that the problem was that BioWare overpromised and underdelivered, and I don't think they did that, because I'll say this: yeah, they underdelivered on some technical sides of it, but like I said, once you get past the demo spot of the game and you give the game some time, it does get better. It really does. It's a slow burn.
It's an RPG that consists of 6 dense open worlds.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
Like, bruh, and there's so much to do. Like, you can choose to do some of it, you can choose to do all of it, but you still have a choice there.
Right.
And that's always going to be the most important part of it to me.
Yeah.
They created a good game, and by all of the information that came out, they had to pull this game together in 18 months. What we got was 18 months worth of work, because they had to scratch everything. If you read that article, I'm not sure if it was Kotaku or somewhere else, but there's this long article about all of the problems that they had, like leads of teams going to other projects and they're not filling those spots and stuff like that, because EA was just like, nah, y'all good.
Right, and here's my thing, and I'll say it like this: AZ still says he won't play the game because of the sex scenes, but Beef is doing a PG. He's doing a PG run through right now.
No. If you don't trust yourself, right, you are right. You are right, because I got to the first ending, the first ending sex scene, and you are 100% correct. It is nasty.
I told you it is soft porn, bro. Like, it is soft porn, bro.
I was like, because my first playthrough, I got down with PB. This time I'm playing through. I'm almost to the point to where I'm gonna get Cora, but I went through with PB, and then they have a little scene. It's closed off. You don't actually see anything. Right. You can hear it a little bit. You don't see nothing.
It's the fling scene.
Yeah, it's the fling scene. But when you get to the scene though,
right, you get to the real deal.
Bruh, that shit is the real deal. I 100% understand your hesitance. And I understand your hesitance. And if you don't feel comfortable not pushing those hearts, then if you don't trust yourself not to push those hearts, don't play the game.
Yeah, don't push it. Don't do it for real. Like, I'm with Mike on that, man. Don't do it for real, because man, yeah, like I said, it's problematic. I just say it's problematic. Kids cannot be in the room, wives cannot be in the room. Like, it's problematic.
I don't know if that's necessarily true. When I was playing Witcher 2, my wife's like, "Can you have sex with that hooker?"
Awesome.
Go do it. Do it. Do it. Do
Do
it
it right now.
Pay for that woman. Go do it right now. I want to see what happens. I'm like, okay.
What happens is Geralt gets another card and he adds it to his Rolodex.
I'm just telling you. I'm like, okay, well, okay, honey, if you're pushing me to get this hooker,
all right.
Okay. You know,
I guess I can concede.
What do I get?
What do I get?
I mean, I'll push the button on this, but can I put some buttons over there?
Hey,
buttons. All right.
But there's a couple of things I want to talk about with E3, and I this may not be the most popular sentiment.
All right.
I went in on Tuesday with the rest of the media and industry people and 15,000 public people.
Oh yeah.
And it was ridiculous. Like, I mean, it was crowded to the point where I couldn't get to the booths. Like, you couldn't get near the Nintendo booth. It was just a sea of humanity pushing and and they weren't like pushing and shoving like like it was dangerous or anything, but it was like in the Sony booth was the same thing, and the Microsoft booth was the same thing. You just were standing there, and it was just
they said it was an extra 16,000 people.
Yes. Yeah, it was an extra. Yeah, they had an extra, and it was just too much. I think that they need to figure out a better way of doing it for next year.
They need to figure out how to separate the common folk from the people who are working, and they need to have more stuff backstage for the people who are working. I know that if you have a media badge, you could probably cut some lines and stuff. But at some point, if you're going to invite regular people, you need to have a regular people space.
Well, or days. Like, you need to close it off to the media for certain days, and then open it up publicly for certain days. Like,
that's what AZ Rockslide just said.
I would be perfectly happy if on Tuesday it was a media day, and then like the first 2 hours each of the next 2 days were media only.
Get interviews, all of that.
As a small writing for a smaller site, we don't get appointments with Microsoft to see all their things. Like, if I want to see Ooblets, which I did, I had to go stand in line for 45 minutes to go play the game. And I'm not complaining about having to stand in line. I would rather not stand in line.
No, but I would complain about standing in line just because some jerk with a little bit of money wanted to come to E3, which is not a fucking community event. No, I would complain. I'm here to look at these games. I'm here to give my views and stuff like that, because that's what my fans deserve. And you are standing in the way of me getting the information to my fans. So yes, I would complain. I will complain a lot. Do something to fix this. Yeah.
In another problem was that I don't feel like the publishers were necessarily ready either. In certain respects. I think Activision did a really good job, like with the lines for people to play Call of Duty World War II. And then they gave out World War II fidget spinners, which I don't know. That's a whole nother. That's a whole nother.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Yeah. Fidget spinners. Yeah.
Yep. World War II fidget spinners. How do those intersect?
Right.
Because it was a Call of Duty World War II, fidget spinner, for all the fidget spinners that were in World War II.
Oh, let me tell you. Let me tell you what I did at work last week. Okay. This lady came in and she had two bad little boys, and I'm in there doing the work, and one of the little boys had a fidget spinner. The other little boy, I guess he had lost his. So we were sitting there talking, and he was playing with the fidget spinner, and I was just like, those things are just useless. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, I'm just like, those things are just useless. And then, oh my God, I triggered the wrong person, because she gave me this soliloquy about how having the fidget spinner helped her son deal with his issues in school. Really? And I'm like, shit.
How?
Like, how did I walk into this? But it's like, you know, with that, just having that little thing in his hand, it changed his focus and all of this other stuff. You know,
Really?
like, yeah, she gave me this long conversation about it, and I was just like, those things are useless. I bought one for my daughter just because she kept asking for it. And let's be honest, my daughter has been here since Saturday. I ain't seen her use the damn thing yet because she just wanted it just so she could take it to school.
Yeah. So in theory, Larry, the way it's supposed to work is for children with ADHD, it's supposed to help them focus by them focusing on the spinning. They can then turn that focus towards another to redirect it.
But also
for individuals that it does work, that actually could utilize it, I can understand that. But I mean, at this point, Mike's right. I mean, like it's a fad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well. Do you guys have any other takes on E3? Again, like I said at the beginning before we started, I am going to publish out on the Facetious feed. It's just going to be the raw audio from us actually all sitting down and watching the Sony conference together. Me, Scar, and the guys from Geeks for the Win, Will and Stuart. And we were like, what?
During the Sony press conference, we were laughing so much. Like and here's the problem with Sony and people's love for Sony. Like what I saw after the press conference, I kept wondering if did we see the same thing?
Can't call it, bro.
How did we see the same thing and came out with something completely different? Right. I guess it's the same way we all view Trump. Good night. Thank you. Tip your waitresses. I set that up just to knock that one down that way. That was great. I feel great about that.
Okay, so a couple of quick things. Just so you know, Larry, you are going to like Ni no Kuni too. It's okay. I think it. I mean, Larry and I are on the same on this one because I really enjoyed playing it. I think you're gonna like that one.
Okay.
I noticed, and I forgot, I didn't see who it was. Someone said about the Fighter Z, the Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
The Dragon Ball game. It looks amazing.
Hold on, Mr. Matt.
No, that was easy.
No. You already said that I complain about everything, which is factually inaccurate. But I didn't think that Sony. I said just because they were games that I didn't want, so it sucked. The problem for me is the same thing that they do every year. They show me a whole bunch of games. They don't talk about dates. And the two games that I'm interested in don't come out until next year, if that. And that's the reason why I keep saying that I'm still waiting for the greatness, because I have to wait so long for everything they talk about. Everything. And then they devoted, I mean, the only part that I will complain about, because it's not something that I want, was all of the VR stuff. VR is not something that I care about at all.
But they got to push those units.
Yeah, they got to push those units. But a very small percentage of PlayStation owners have VR.
A million of the install base. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't need you, AZ. I got this. But I think what Sony did was just I hate the fact that I will say this first. First. Sony didn't have to do anything. They went in 2-1 right now. Mm-hmm. And then the moment Microsoft said $4.99, they're like, we ain't got to do shit. And that's basically what they did. They ain't do shit. They had the thing at the beginning. They played a whole bunch of trailers, and it was like, all right, Dan, we got one more. We out.
Okay, so here's the thing, man.
And then that's what they did. Like Horizon, he said Horizon is out, Uncharted is out, Infamous is out. Horizon is good, Uncharted is good, mm-hmm. Infamous. But I know it's not for me. I know Infamous is not for me, but I own the other two. I own the other two. So but that doesn't make me want to keep coming back to my PlayStation. The only reason why I come back to my PlayStation is because my friend who had an Xbox had it stolen, and now I got to go back to my PlayStation to play games with him. But for the most part, I don't turn on my PlayStation because that's not where my friends are. Those aren't the games that my friends are playing. All of those single player games, most people play them once and never touch them again. And every time I go to my friends list on both consoles, nobody is playing those games. They're all playing multi-platform games. They're playing their Maddens, their Call of Duties, their FIFAs, their Destinies, and all of this kind of stuff. No one is playing Horizon anymore. No one.
It's still sitting on my shelf. I haven't opened it yet.
No one is playing Uncharted. No one is playing Uncharted right now, and it has multiplayer. You know what? I can't remember the last time I seen anybody touch Infamous. So, like, you can say, yeah, these games are out. Nobody's really playing it. Not from what I can see from my friends. Maybe your friend, AZ, maybe your friends still play it quite a bit. But all of my friends that I know that play Horizon, they played it. They said, this is great. Never touched it again.
Well, let me say this. With Sony's press conference.
DLC.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this, B, and then I'll let you go. So with Sony's press conference, this is how I felt. Yeah, Horizon has DLC. That's all cool. That's only gonna last me for about a week. Detroit, I am not a fan of David Cage and Quantic Dream's games. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not
digging it.
That's a personal thing for me, right? Because I feel like if I want to do something like that, I would much rather play a Telltale game, because to me the level of interactivity is about the same. So so for me,
I enjoy
that engine. Oh my god, the Telltale engine. That is the oldest. Like, the only thing older than the Telltale engine is the Tales engine.
Is the Fallout? Oh yeah, the Tales engine is absolutely dated. But Fallout is pretty old though. Let's be real. Let's be real.
Right, Mike. Let me tell you this. I had someone come up to me and talk to me about Detroit, and since you're a Quantic Dream guy, I think you can appreciate this. So he's like trying to work on the guy's like he's like talking to the person trying to work on his trust meter, and then he got to the last thing and he had like a 90% trust meter with the guy, and then he was about to select the thing and he just waited too long.
What?
And then the guy's like, wait, you didn't answer right away when he said why should I trust you? And he waited too long, and the timer had gone out enough before he made his selection that he went, you waited too long, you hesitated, I don't trust you. And that was it. So, like, I mean, like, that is some context sensitive shit right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm in for
That's
that.
what I'm talking about.
Something? I just logged into my PlayStation list. I have one friend playing Horizon right now.
One friend.
One friend. Everybody else is playing multi-platform stuff except for one guy playing MLB The Show, because that's the only place where you can get a baseball game.
Yep.
Right. Well, it's the best baseball game. Let's be clear. So
I got another story I want to share real quick. I know you guys. I know we're getting close to the time.
No, that's on Blue.
Oh, okay. So I was in the Namco Bandai, I was in the back, and I'm in this little tiny presentation room, and so we saw a presentation for Ni no Kuni 2. It was great. We saw a presentation for Dragon Ball. It was fine. Yeah. And then the guy for Project Cars comes in, and I shit you not, he spent 20 minutes throwing shade at Forza.
What?
Yeah, I mean, it was just like, like there are some other games that are saying, oh, dynamic weather, this and that. He's like, we've been doing that since the first game. Now we have like dynamic weather and like from like different rain to snow, and it puddle, like, it now collects on the things and it crosses the track as it's,
But here's the problem with that. It suffers from the same thing as that Mass Effect suffered from, where the launch was so crappy, they lost too many people.
Yeah, but I mean, it was just like, he was just talking about like the things that Forza is now bringing to Forza 7, how they've already had it.
Who said Horizon failed? And then he said, who's playing Halo right now on Xbox One or Gears? Like I said, nobody is playing. I said on both consoles, no one is playing the exclusives. They're all playing third party. That was the first thing I said, dog.
That is the first thing.
What are you arguing about something I ain't even say? I said, ain't nobody playing the first party stuff on both consoles.
Right. But let me finish, because he was throwing shade.
Oh, yeah. And he was just talking about like the no, I mean, the stuff he was describing is awesome. I mean, like we're talking about like it might be raining on the front of the track at the beginning of the day, but because the clouds are moving dynamically across the course, it may be raining on the back of the track on the back of the day, and you're waiting for like the front of the track to dry up, and and you're making tire decision based on that. Now that's cool. But it was just like, I mean, like everything is like, and there's some other game, like there's another game that's talking about this. And I mean, he wouldn't say it, but it was just like, I'm like I walked out and my buddy Rob just looked at me, he's like, was he just talking shit about Forza like the entire time, or was it me? I'm like, oh no, he was. Like 20-minute presentation, and the Project Cars guy was just all over it. I mean, he was just.
That's funny, man.
Yeah.
That's funny. But I like that studio. That studio Need for Speed Shift. Like they first did Need for Speed Shift, and I am a fan of that.
Project Cars, that's not the Sony game, is it?
No, it's a Namco.
What's the Sony game that came out and they had the terrible launch? That's
Drive Club.
GT?
Drive Club.
Oh, Drive Club.
Yeah, that one was the one with I don't know much about Project Cars. I don't play car racing games because
I don't either.
Yeah, I'm not here for that, or I'm not really here for fighting games either. I know like I really want to play Injustice. I don't really want to own Injustice.
Man. Okay, I will say this though. Crew 2, I'm driving down the streets of New York, and he's like, okay, now push down on your D-pad. And I turned into a plane and used the street as a runway, flew up over the harbor, and then he's like, okay, now press right or left or whatever it was. And then I dropped into a boat, and I immediately went into a boat. And I was like,
son, look.
I was like, damn.
Look, Mike and I, when they gave away the Crew for free on Xbox Live, we were both like, look, that game is surprisingly fun. And it's surprisingly well done.
We played it when it became free, and we got in just like, okay, we'll mess with this for a little while. And we was just we were like, holy crap, this is actually a fun game.
Fun, bro.
I might actually look into the Crew 2 because the Crew 1 was such a surprise, and it wasn't until they gave it to us for free that we realized that we could actually have fun with this game.
Dude, it was.
AZ said, "Can someone really explain the appeal of Sea of Thieves?" I can't really tell you because I don't really. I'll probably, hopefully they have a beta or a demo or something like that where you can play a little bit with your friends and try to figure out what it is. But I don't get the appeal. It just seems like something to mess around with your friends.
Right.
Yes. I don't. But I don't get the appeal either. It's not something that I'm checking for. If they make it free to play and just charge a whole bunch of microtransactions, I'll be cool with that. I might hop in and see what's going on.
Yeah.
Man, I just like so the Crew is something I'm really excited about. And the thing that really got me about the first one was how you can customize the interior. You can change the colors, you can change the fabric, all of that, man. That was what was up. That's what Forza needs. That's what every car game needs.
You know what we need? What we need is a Need for Speed Most Wanted, the original Most Wanted.
Right. Razor Callahan in them
with motorcycles.
We need bikes. We need bikes, but the Crew has bikes.
I mean, the Crew had bikes,
but
I want a full-on Need for Speed type experience with motorcycles, though.
I hear you. But with that, it's time for us to ride on up out of here. So because
Blue is a hater.
Nice.
I can still talk.
I know you can still talk, but it's
I could tell a bunch of more stories. I got plenty of stories.
All right. So real quick, since we got you here, best E3 party you went to last year or this year?
I actually didn't end up going to any E3 parties. I was tired most of the nights, and I did actually get to see some friends that I haven't seen in like 5 or 6 years. So I went out to dinner with them, and we had a wonderful time. So I guess that's what I did. I did have tickets to the Machinima party. I just didn't make it there. So
okay.
I will say that instead of spending $300-400 a night to stay downtown, I spent $100 a night staying in Culver City, and it was awesome. I took the train in every day. It was way better. I saved a ton of money, and I had a very nice room, and it was great.
Yeah. So that's good, man. That's good. Like I said, it's one of my bucket lists.
Okay. But before you wrap this up, I know you were getting ready to say something, but since we weren't there, let's see what is your E3 moment. What is your E3 moment for what you've seen? We'll all do our moments. You were there, so your E3 moment, and then we'll do ours because we weren't there.
Shadow of War. Like I got to go in. I saw the presentation for Shadow War. They are blowing the doors off that game. I'm so excited. And then they're like, okay, well now come in the back here and play it. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like sitting there. Oh my God, dude. It is. Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so good.
Hey, Bruce was. Hey, his personality was shining through in that demo, dog. Like when they were showing it, and he was like, "Hey, what's going on?" He's like, "Hey, if you want to take over, you're gonna have to move down here." I was like, "Yeah, that's what I'm talking about." He has so much personality. I was like, "Yes, I want that dude on my squad for sure. He has to be." So yeah, good. Yeah, but so that's awesome. What about yours, Mike? What's your moment?
AZ said his was Metroid Prime 4.
Metroid Prime 4.
Mine was, of course, like, can you guess what mine is? Like, mine was Anthem, of course. Like,
right.
I want Halo Fall. Like, I own the Division. I own the Division on both consoles. I own Destiny on both consoles. But if you can give me a BioWare version of that with Halo Fall, I'm in. Like, it's like Halo suits, but they fly down like Shadow, like Titanfall. Like, sign me up. Like, where do I sign up? Like, I want this. And BioWare on top of it, bruh. Where do I sign up? That was my moment.
I agree with you. I think that game of the year 2020 is Anthem. You were absolutely right.
He threw out 2020. Come on.
He said AZ said Anthem looked great, but poorly scripted banter. How do we know that it was scripted? Because we all say every time we see E3 demos, every time we see E3 demos, we always say the same thing. Nobody actually talks like that until we all played the Division and we started all talking like that.
Right. But at least we cut up. We throw in jokes every now and then. Like, we do something. It's a D's dropped every now and then.
But when we're playing the Division and we play, and it's just a group of the guys. Like, we walk into a room and we start talking about that. Okay, I'm going over here. I need somebody to pop the crits. I need some who got a turret. I need all of this stuff. Like, we start talking like how they talk in these E3 demos, and we always said no one actually talks like that until we did, and we didn't realize we did until someone told us that we did.
But the thing is, we bring more humor. Like, if they want somebody to do the voiceover for those videos, come to us. Like, we got it. We'll hold you down.
Hey Larry. So Devious Mr. Matt says that he was hoping for some Red Dead 2 coverage. So Take-Two wasn't there, except for they had this booth on the show floor. And and all they were doing were taking like business meetings, or the Rockstar PR guys were only meeting with like certain journalists to like, from what I heard from someone, it was like to work on their like work relationship or whatever. But let me tell you about this booth. Okay, first of all, it was completely enclosed. In the middle was like a fountain with like greenery. It was like freaking landscaped, and then they had like a pool table with this giant ass TV and couches and a bar. There was a freaking bar inside this.
Was it open? Was it open?
No. You couldn't go inside unless you had an appointment.
Wow.
So they had this completely luscious environment inside the show floor, but only if you had an appointment for it.
That's baller.
It was awesome. Like, I was kind of like, I wish I was going in there.
It's the Chris Brown thing. You know that song? Was it "Look at Me Now"? Where he says right before the song starts, he goes, "How you gonna hate from outside the club? You can't get in." Like.
And to Derek Lambrick's Destiny 2, I played it with a mouse and keyboard, and it feels really good.
Did you get them 60 frames?
They didn't have they didn't have anything up on the screen, and I'm guessing.
Thank you. I want to thank you. I want to thank you for being like, I don't know, I don't really care about the frames. Thank you.
The thing is,
if they had a display up, they they had some pieces. Sometimes the developers have like some of their like the tools up. They did not have that up. It was just playing, and it was kind of, it was still pre-alpha footage or pre-alpha gameplay. So
it's not finished.
Yeah. But let me tell you, when the little mini boss freaking rocket packs up above me and just starts dropping missiles on me, and I'm like diving into cover, and then he goes down, and I just unleash my special on him. It felt pretty good.
That's good. Look, No, that's really good. Look, here's the true answer to that question. Look, if it was 60, you definitely would have known. So you definitely would have felt it. No, so I completely understand. No, it's fine. It's fine.
All your frame counters suck.
Man, stop hating. Get your GPU game up. All right, everybody.
I can't imagine pre-alpha gameplay is at 60 frames.
Yes, I don't need an i9 to play Prison Architect.
You right. You don't that's to play Prison Architect. All you need is a phone to play Prison Architect. All right, y'all.
Actually, tablet don't work on phones.
Okay, tablet. My bad. All right, so
but it don't work on my iPad.
So B, hey man, thank you for dropping in, man. Tell people your shout outs. Tell them where they can find you, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna shout out to everyone in the chat. I definitely want to shout out to you and Mike because man, I have really enjoyed watching the show every week up until now, because now I won't watch it because I'm on it. But I'm with you. Don't even worry about it. You good. Yeah, okay. And just because I'm on the show, I want to definitely say I want to reiterate, no ketchup and steak sauce.
There you go.
I'm just gonna say that right now. Just gonna put that in there.
Mike is giving you the hardest stare.
But I want to give so I'm just gonna give my Twitter handle. Is that what I'm doing now? My Twitter handle. So you can catch me on Twitter as Quiglin. That's Quiglin, and definitely listen to my podcast.
Where did that name come from?
Actually, I made it up I don't know, when I was in college, 20 years ago. It's a combination of Quigley and Devlin. I liked those two names. They're good Irish names, and I combined.
It's better than making up Scarfinger in 10th grade before you saw Scarface and you didn't know that he was a criminal.
Right.
You can also catch my podcast. It's called Starting Point. It's at Starting Point on Twitter or shoutengine.com / Starting Point.
For sure. Mike, shout outs, man.
Man, shout out to everybody in the chat. And shout out to the homie Mr. Matt. I still want my invite to the podcast. I ain't been on the 40 cast since the early days when we used to have shows with our wives. And now I ain't got a wife no more. But how's your boy, man? I even drink now. I ain't gonna drink no beer, but I'm gonna show up with some Hennessy and I'm gonna be just right.
Right.
But how's your boy, man? I want to be on the show.
All right. Anything else before I get to start mine and you cut me off as per usual?
No, you got that because I'm gonna cut you off anyway.
I know it. Anyway, all right. So shout outs to everybody in the chat, man. Shout outs to people that gave us feedback. Shout outs to Darrin, Josh M. He actually gave us feedback last week as well. Slash him, Quiglin, thank you for coming on. Shout outs to Ace, Simpson, AZ, Rockslide, Devious, Mr. Matt, who are all up here in the chat tonight, man. Look, we really appreciate it. We really have fun doing this thing, and yeah, man, y'all do. Really, if you get a chance, check my boy out. Check out Brian. Check out A Starting Point. He had Jeff Kanata on, and it was good.
That's my dude, but I had to stop listening to the podcast because he talked about VR too much.
Right, right. But it is what it is. But everybody, thank you so much. We'll be back again next week, and at some point, Brian, tell Corey we're gonna get him on the show.
I forgot to tell you, I met his brother on the show floor. His twin brother.
What? Okay, yep. That's what's up. That's what's up.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. That's great. That's great. And so we're gonna have him on. So, but everybody, thank you so much for watching, listening to Facetious 77.
I'm downloading the podcast right now.
There it is. Right. We'll be back in your ear and maybe in front of your eyeballs again next week as well. So thank you so much for listening. Peace out to the Warriors.
Peace out to the Warriors.
All right.